All right, good evening, everybody. David Paul with you, Chief Meteorologist here at KHOU 11 News. We're in the Weather Center. We're going to give you an update on Marco and Laura. First of all, Marco is in the process of falling apart. You have to squint to find the center, but it's right there. That's the center. All the rain and thunderstorm activity and the wind is over here. Florida, southern Mississippi, Alabama, they've had a bad weather day today. Meanwhile, New Orleans has had a beautiful weather day today. They're much closer to the center. That's because those upper level winds that we talked about the past couple of days have been overriding the surface winds, and they've just blown all the bad wind and rain off to the northeast side, exposing the center of what's left of Marco. Marco's about to just downgrade to a tropical depression and just a remnant low as it moves this way, and all the upper level winds are blowing the storms that way, and that has just ripped the thing apart. That's good news for New Orleans. It's not going to be a flood threat for them. They've got a little bit of flash flooding rain near Pensacola. That's about it. We talked about this last week and over the weekend, how a healthy storm wants to be vertically stacked, but when you get those upper level winds, that wind shear at 15, 20, 25,000 feet, it tilts the storm over. But in the case of Marco, it has literally just ripped it apart. And so Marco is done for, weakening, not a threat to anybody except a little bit of rain. There's the forecast track, depression, then just a remnant low as it heads for the Texas-Louisiana border going into Wednesday. This one, for all intents and purposes, is a non-event for Louisiana and for we here in Texas. It will be Laura that is the main event. You can see as we set your bearings here, the center of Marco is here. All the weather is over from Jacksonville, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia. Just amazing how those upper level winds can rip it apart. And then here's Laura, a much better organized system. Laura is not being sheared. That's one of the reasons why we think Laura is going to become Cat 2 at least as she races out into the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days. Laura's visible sat. It's a better looking counterclockwise rotation, and you can see the sun is beginning to set out here, so we're losing our visible satellite. But you can see some of the outer bands stretching out into the Gulf of Mexico already. The center of the storm right here, just south of the western tip of Cuba, winds have now increased to 65 miles an hour. This is the 7 p.m. intermediate advisory. So 10 more miles an hour and it's going to be a Cat 1 hurricane. And I think that will happen after it crosses over Cuba tonight and moves into the Gulf of Mexico. Central pressure is 998 millibars. It's racing to west-northwest now at 20 miles an hour. That's a very fast speed for a tropical system to develop. It's almost as if it creates its own shearing mechanism. Forecast track first. Here it comes, Cat 1, then Cat 2 on Wednesday, then Cat 2 somewhere between Galveston Bay and Vermilion Bay on Wednesday night into the wee hours of Thursday morning. It may be a midnight landfall somewhere on that line. That's the best forecast from the Hurricane Center right now. We are still in the far western edge of the cone. It's too close for comfort and we can't let our guard down. We have to plan for the worst and hope for the best. I will remind you there have already been some significant forecast track changes from the Hurricane Center over the past several days. I think we're honing in on a little better confidence in the forecast, but it's still not set in stone. So again, it's still possible that the upper Texas coast and southeast Texas could be in play for a Cat 2 going into Wednesday night, Thursday morning. One interesting thing, this is not going to be a Harvey repeat. The storm will be racing north at about 25 once it makes landfall, and that will put it on the coast Thursday morning at 1 a.m. and then in northern Louisiana by Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. It's out of here, taking the rain threat with it, but the wind threat and the surge threat will be magnified because of the rapid forward speed of Laura. Here are the spaghetti plots, most of them taking it into the Texas-Louisiana border or southwest Louisiana, Lake Charles sitting right there. Still a few of them do take it over to Houston, Galveston. A couple of them take it to New Orleans. So everybody from New Orleans to Houston is watching this carefully and taking the storm very, very seriously. And I would urge you to do so as well. Plan as if you may have the power out for several days if this storm were to come closer to Houston. Plan on not being able to get out and get supplies for at least 2 or 3 days. Have it with you so that if we get some bad weather out of this, you don't have to get out and get in this when there's all types of debris and damage and power outages. Based on the current forecast track, this is the wind forecast. And again, this could change, but here's the way we stand right now with the strongest winds making landfall in southwest Louisiana near Lake Charles. This would be late Wednesday night, early wee hours Thursday morning. gusts to about 100 miles an hour in Lake Charles, and that's not quite even into the core of winds yet. What about Houston? Well, on this track, we would have north winds gusting to 20 or 22. Wouldn't be bad at all. Beaumont might get gusts to 45 or 50. They would have more significant chances for power outages there. You can see how the wind field really cuts off as you get over into the Houston area on this forecast. On the dirty side, it's a little worse. New Orleans would have gusts to 30. They would have some 45, 50-mile-an-hour gusts and some of the stronger rain bands on that type of forecast track. Then the storm races north, and we're done by Thursday afternoon. The wind threat is out of here because it's just moving so quickly. It'll take the rain threat along with us, so this one is not going to sit on us. That's wonderful news. Okay, Houston, this evening. Slight chance for a stray shower through 7 o'clock. A beautiful tropical evening on this Monday evening. Great time to finish your hurricane preparations. Tuesday's forecast, if you haven't finished, Tuesday's a great day to go get a few supplies. Make sure if you're on the coast, everything is battened down as you want it. I know that there are voluntary evacuations issued by the local officials in Galveston County for a voluntary evacuation of the west end of Galveston Island below the seawall, the part that's more susceptible to surge flooding if that track were to shift more closer to you. We don't want anybody caught off guard. Check your local officials, KHOU.com. We've got all evacuation suggestions listed there. And also, if you go to the hurricane section, you can see an evacuation route map as well. Here's the extended. This is subject to huge changes depending on that forecast track. What I'm going to do for now is leave a 30% chance for a scattered shower on Tuesday. Tuesday's a fine day. Wednesday, we'll just have to wait and see what Laura does. If it goes to southwest Louisiana, we won't get much rain at all, and I'll have to lower that rain chance for Wednesday and Thursday. If it comes closer to us, clearly we'll raise the rain chance and the wind and damage possibilities as well. And then after that, we're going to go back to just summer-like weather as we head into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Everything updated with a fresh forecast cone right at 10 o'clock. That's when the Hurricane Center updates it. So on the news tonight at 10 o'clock at KHOU 11 News, just leave it on 11. And right after the convention coverage ends, which should be right at 10 or just a little bit after 10, we'll start right off the newscast with the latest tropical and hurricane forecast from the Hurricane Center and what it means for we here in Houston. We'll see you at 10 after the convention on 11 News.